Hello again, all you book lovers, to our second edition of Bedtime Stories with Adam and Sarah. Hello, my love.
Hello.
Tonight we're going to discuss for a few minutes the genre of young adult fiction and our feelings on young adult fiction. Do you want to start, or would you like me to start, my love?
I can start. I firmly believe that there's a reason why everyone is trending toward young adult fiction, and I believe that young adult fiction is more naive and more wholesome than adult literature in a lot of ways. I mean, think about Twilight. They barely kiss. The relationship itself is very infantile, and it's not deep and complicated, really. I mean, he's a vampire, she's not.
So you're saying that's why people are attracted to the genre?
Yes, I think people want something that is something that's not. It doesn't have to be 50 Shades of Grey. It doesn't have to be dark and deep, although obviously that one did very well.
Is that dark and deep, or is that just like
porn?
Porn.
Well, I mean, it's porn, but for all those people who aren't interested in porn, obviously that also takes in a lot of, obviously, young adults, but there are a lot of adults who love young adult fiction.
Totally.
And I think that's why. I think it's because a lot of people are sick and tired of, okay, well, it's an adult novel, so we need to throw in sex, nudity, promiscuity, infidelity. That's just, common core, or, rape, incest, murder, the whole 9 yards of nasty adult problems that falls into adult literature. That's what I think.
So overall, you're pretty thumbs up on the young adult genre.
Oh, as far as do I like it or not?
Pretty okay.
I mean, from what I've read of it, I think Twilight was okay. I mean, I enjoyed the story. I remember as I read it, I said this was very poorly written, but I couldn't put it down. I was very interested in the characters and what was going to happen to the characters. I happily read and bought the books. I happily saw in theaters and now own all the movies. I thought it was good.
That's true.
I know. I made you go.
Oh.
But
you didn't make me go, but I did eventually watch the films.
I'm just saying, I think, yes, like, I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I do like that I go into it having kind of a certain expectation of it's not going to be something, super gross and intensive and pornographic. I'm kind of over that.
I see those points. I haven't read enough young adult fiction, and maybe this is outing me as not being a good judge of this and a good source, but from my experience, the young adult stuff that I have read, most of it's been pretty all right. But I guess my experience and what I've seen is, like, if I go on Goodreads, or go to I obviously, run the Thousander Club, and I'm always seeking out other bloggers who do book reviews, and they're all doing young adult. It's just young adult, young adult, young adult everywhere you go, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, for heaven's sakes, can nobody review A Tale of Two Cities, or can nobody review even a Ray Bradbury book? Can no one, review Fahrenheit 451, or does no one know how to read a nonfiction book anymore? And of course people do, and I'm using hyperbole here, but I guess the folks that I have come across, a lot of the people that are the most passionate right now, and most of the people that are speaking the most and talking about stuff the most are those folks and those readers who are totally consumed with young adult. And
well, maybe it's because it's something that you don't have to think too hard about. I
get that, but I'm not convinced that's a great thing.
Maybe the reason that you're seeing it all over book clubs is because people are wanting to read more for enjoyment than for, can I up my intellectual, what would you say that? What would you call that? Your cache of information.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I think I like movies a lot too. So I go to the movie side of things, where it's like you have a wide range of films that come out within a particular year, right? And the excuse, and I do say excuse, the excuse that a lot of people give if they don't like a particular film because maybe it required them to work a little bit, is like, well, I just want to turn my brain off when I go to the movies. Mm-hmm. Yes, sometimes, but I worry that if that's your only, if you want to consume entertainment, if you want to consume media, and that's all you're trying to do, is turn your brain off, I think it's a problem. And maybe, and maybe I'm not giving enough credit to a lot of young adult fiction, but I'm sorry, I'm just not convinced that a lot of this teen fiction, a lot of this young adult fiction, is really going to provide,
so what you're saying,
a lot of
Twilight is not going to shape me as a human being intellectually, morally. It's not going to change my life. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Probably, but I have nothing inherently wrong with Twilight, but I do have something wrong with only consuming that type of literature, only consuming that type of book, that type of genre. And that's the thing that kind of weirds me out a little bit about the young adult genre, is that it is so pervasive. It's like you can't get away from it. It's like, does nobody read anything else? And I know people do, but it's just my experience is what I've seen. I feel like I feel like it's overkill. I feel like, okay, and there's a part of me too that's like, this is kind of a fad and eventually it'll fizzle out. Well, to sum it up, from my point of view, I'm fine with young adult, but I think people should change it up. I think to get stuck in young adult's not a good idea. There's lots more out there to read that is more beneficial to you.
Okay. I would go with that, seeing as how I like to hit the classics as much as I can. But I also like to see, what everyone's talking about. That's why I read the Hunger Games books. Yeah. In any case, so yeah, I'm kind of indifferent about it. I think it's just another trend. I think it's okay if people want to check out. That's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you feed your brain, I suppose, in other ways.
Yeah, so feed your brain and let us know what you think about the young adult genre. I might be way off here, so let me know. You might agree with my wife or neither one of us. But please let us know. We're glad you stopped by. We're going to close them out. Good night, my love.
Good night.